Surely you've heard plenty of advice about eating nuts every day to boost your health, right? But here's a truth that not many people know. Some of the nuts you eat daily might be silently increasing your risk of heart disease and other serious health issues, especially for seniors. So, are we unknowingly harming our own bodies by choosing the wrong nuts? And if so, are you ready to change your habits to protect your health? In today's video, we're going to uncover the hidden secrets about nuts, the effects they can have on your body, and, most importantly, how to pick the best nuts for your health, especially if you're a senior. Let's dive in and discover which nuts you should be eating and which ones you need to avoid right away. We all know that as we age, our health naturally declines, and taking care of our bodies becomes a top priority. A healthy diet can improve your quality of life, lower the risk of diseases, and even help you live longer. And in that diet, nuts are often seen as a nutritional powerhouse, packed with healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. But here's the surprising part. Not all nuts are good for you. In fact, some nuts that many of us think are healthy can actually be harmful, especially as we get older. When I was a kid, I remember my grandma always saying, "Nuts are nature's gift." I grew up believing that eating nuts every day would keep me healthy. But as I started digging deeper into this topic, I realized that not all nuts deliver the benefits I thought they did. Some nuts, especially the processed ones, can lead to serious health issues for seniors. So, what can we do to avoid these mistakes, and how can we protect the health of our loved ones? The answers are coming up in this video. In this video, I'll share some fascinating discoveries about nuts, the hidden risks they might pose for seniors, and how to choose the best nuts for your heart, brain, and overall body. Don't miss these valuable tips. They could change the way you think about your diet and help your loved ones live healthier every day. So, where do we start? Let's explore the nuts that are sparking debates in the nutrition world and find the answer to this question. Are the nuts we eat every day really good for our health? We'll go step by step, looking at each type of nut to understand their benefits and potential risks. Let's get started. We all know nuts are a great source of nutrition, but here's a little-known fact. Some nuts we eat daily, especially as seniors, can have negative effects on our health. That's right. Those seemingly harmless nuts might be quietly harming your body. Take peanuts, cashews, and macadamia nuts. For example, they're some of the most common culprits. Let's start with peanuts. Even though they're a popular snack, they can pose big risks to your health, especially for seniors. One of the biggest dangers with peanuts is aflatoxins, a toxin produced by mold that can grow on peanuts if they're not stored properly. Aflatoxins are one of the most potent cancer-causing substances out there, and over time, they can build up in your body, leading to serious issues with your liver, kidneys, and even increasing your risk of cancer. I want to share a story with you. My friend John absolutely loved peanuts. He'd eat a big handful every day, thinking they were doing wonders for his health. But after a while, he started having digestive problems, and tests showed signs of liver damage due to aflatoxin exposure. Since then, John has cut back on peanuts, and it's really helped improve his health. Next up are cashews, which are often seen as a healthy choice. But here's something to watch out for. Cashews are high in carbohydrates. For seniors, especially those with diabetes or at risk of developing it, cashews can cause a spike in blood sugar. If you don't control how much you eat, they could worsen diabetes over time. My friend Emma ran into this issue. She was eating a lot of cashews every day, thinking they were a great healthy snack. But after a while, she started noticing signs of diabetes, constant thirst, fatigue, and high blood sugar. When she adjusted her diet and cut back on cashews, her condition improved significantly. Lastly, let's talk about macadamia nuts. They're delicious and creamy, but they're also very high in calories and saturated fats. This can be a problem for seniors, especially those with gallbladder issues or gallstone pain. Macadamia nuts can make these conditions worse, leading to discomfort or even blockages in the gallbladder. My friend Steve, who's a senior, had a history of gallbladder problems. He loved macadamia nuts and ate them daily, thinking they were a good source of fats. But over time, he started feeling abdominal pain and nausea. After a doctor's visit, they found he had gallbladder inflammation, partly due to the high fat content in macadamias. He had to switch to lower-fat nuts, and it made a big difference. The big takeaway here is that not all nuts are right for especially seniors. While nuts can offer tons of health benefits, choosing the right ones depends on your specific health needs. Be cautious of nuts that might contain toxins, are high in saturated fats, or could spike your blood sugar. So, how can we protect our health and choose the best nuts? In the next part, we'll explore the nuts that are truly beneficial for seniors, helping to protect your heart, brain, and overall body. Let's find out which nuts are the safest and healthiest for you. You've probably heard that nuts are a fantastic source of nutrition, providing healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. But have you ever wondered why some nuts can negatively affect our bodies, especially as we age? Today, we'll dig deeper into how nuts impact our bodies on a physiological level, so you can better understand what's happening when you eat them. Nuts are high in fats, but not all fats are created equal. While some healthy fats, like omega-3s in walnuts, are great for your heart and brain, the saturated fats in other nuts can cause problems, especially for seniors. Take macadamia nuts, for example. A lot of folks love their rich, buttery taste, but they're packed with saturated fats. Studies show that eating too many saturated fats can raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, increasing your risk of heart disease, especially as you age. My friend Linda used to eat macadamia nuts every day. At first, she felt fine, but over time, she started having heart issues. Her doctor found that her cholesterol levels had spiked, partly due to the macadamias. The lesson here: not all fats are good, and too much saturated fat can lead to serious health problems. On the flip side, some nuts like walnuts are rich in omega-3s, an essential fatty acid that's amazing for your heart and brain. Omega-3s help keep your cells flexible, reduce inflammation, and lower the risk of heart disease. What's really important is the balance between omega-3s and omega-6s in your body. You need omega-3s to reduce inflammation and support brain function. But too much omega-6 found in nuts like sunflower seeds, wheat germ, and many vegetable oils can throw off that balance, leading to inflammation and chronic diseases. My friend Thomas used to eat a ton of sunflower seeds because he'd heard they were healthy. But after some tests, his doctor found high levels of inflammation in his body. He was advised to cut back on sunflower seeds and add more walnuts to his diet. After a few months, he felt so much better. This just goes to show how important it is to balance omega-3s and omega-6s. Besides fats, nuts are also packed with antioxidants, especially flavonoids and vitamin E. These compounds protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals, reducing your risk of heart disease and neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. Research shows that people who eat nuts rich in antioxidants tend to have better heart health and a lower risk of age-related diseases. My friend's mum, Sarah, has always loved almonds because she heard they were good for her. She's been adding them to her daily meals for years, and at over 70, she still has great heart health and a sharp mind. A recent study also found that almonds, with their high levels of vitamin E and flavonoids, can help prevent oxidative damage, supporting heart health and memory. The key takeaway here is that when choosing nuts, you need to understand their nutritional content and how they affect your body, especially as you age. Not all nuts have positive effects. Picking the right ones for your health is crucial. Nuts with omega-3s, like walnuts and chia seeds, are great for your heart and brain, while those high in omega-6s, or saturated fats, should be eaten in moderation. So, how do we pick the best nuts for our health, while avoiding the ones that could harm us? In the next section, we'll explore the top nuts for seniors and how they can help protect your heart, boost your memory, and keep your body strong. Let's keep going. We all know that as we age, our health changes, and keeping our hearts healthy and minds sharp becomes a top priority. One of the biggest factors affecting heart and brain health is our diet, especially the nuts we eat. While nuts can offer amazing benefits, choosing the wrong ones can lead to hidden risks for your heart and cognitive health. Let's start with heart health. A healthy heart is the foundation of overall well-being, but as we age, heart disease becomes a bigger concern. Studies show that eating nuts like walnuts and almonds can lower your risk of heart disease by reducing bad cholesterol, LDL, and increasing good cholesterol, HDL. This is especially important for seniors because, over time, the buildup of bad cholesterol can lead to conditions like atherosclerosis and stroke. My friend Mary faced heart issues after turning 60. She hadn't been eating well and wasn't very active. After her doctor warned her about the risk of heart disease, she decided to change her diet. One of her biggest changes was adding walnuts to her daily meals. After 6 months, her blood tests showed a significant improvement in her cholesterol levels. She not only felt healthier, but also more at peace mentally. Mary's story is a clear example of how walnuts can reduce heart disease risk and keep your heart strong. Beyond heart health, your brain is another key area as you age. For seniors, cognitive decline and diseases like Alzheimer's are major concerns. Some nuts, like walnuts, almonds, and Brazil nuts, are rich in antioxidants and vitamin E, which protect brain cells from free radical damage. Plus, the omega-3s in walnuts play a big role in supporting nerve function and boosting memory. My friend David, who's over 70, started noticing memory decline. At first, he thought it was just a normal part of aging. But after consulting his doctor and changing his diet to include more walnuts and almonds, he noticed his memory improving. He could recall small details more easily and felt more alert, which made a huge difference in his daily life. What's amazing is that these benefits can happen quietly. You might not notice them right away. Sometimes, we don't realize that eating the right nuts can slow cognitive decline and lower heart disease risk with such a simple habit. The lesson here is that not all nuts work the same way. Some, like walnuts and almonds, not only protect your heart but also keep your brain sharp, thanks to their antioxidants and omega-3s. Choosing the right nuts and adding them to your daily diet can help reduce age-related disease risks and keep your body healthy. So, how do we pick the best nuts for our heart and brain? In the next section, we'll explore the top nuts for protecting your health and slowing down the aging process. Stay tuned. Nut butters, especially peanut butter, are a favorite for so many people, not just for their delicious taste, but also for their convenience and nutrition. But have you ever wondered if nut butters, particularly peanut butter, are actually good for your health, or if there's something hiding in those jars that we don't know about? In this section, we'll explore why you should be cautious with peanut butter and other nut butters. Peanut butter might seem like a healthy choice, right? But the truth is, not all peanut butters are good for you. One of the biggest issues is the added sugar and salt that manufacturers put into processed peanut butter. This can be especially dangerous for seniors because excess sugar and salt can increase your risk of diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart problems. You might have heard about my friend Joan, who loved eating peanut butter on toast every morning. But after a while, she started feeling tired and had issues with her blood pressure. When she went to the doctor, they found that eating too much processed peanut butter, with all that added sugar and salt had, contributed to her high blood pressure. After switching to homemade peanut butter without added sugar or salt, her condition improved. Joan's story is a perfect example of why we need to be careful about the hidden ingredients in processed nut butters. And don't forget that most processed peanut butters contain hydrogenated oils, which can be harmful to your health. These oils are used to make the peanut butter creamy and shelf-stable, but they're loaded with trans fats, a type of fat that's really bad for you. Trans fats can raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower your good cholesterol, HDL, increasing your risk of heart disease and other issues. My friend Emily had a similar experience. She always thought peanut butter was a healthy choice until she started having heart problems. Her doctor found that her cholesterol levels were high, partly because of the hydrogenated oils in her peanut butter. After switching to natural peanut butter without those oils, her cholesterol levels improved significantly. The third thing to watch out for is eating too much nut butter. While peanut butter and other nut butters contain healthy fats, they're also very high in calories. If you eat too much, you can easily take in more calories than you need, which can lead to weight gain and related health issues. For seniors, managing weight is especially important because being overweight can increase your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and other conditions. My family member Jack ran into this problem. He loved peanut butter on toast every morning but didn't watch his portions. Over time, he started gaining weight, and had issues like high blood pressure and rising cholesterol. When he realized that eating too much peanut butter was adding extra calories, he decided to cut back. After a while, he felt much healthier and even lost some weight. The lesson from these stories is that not all nut butters are the same. While peanut butter and other nut butters can be a great addition to your diet, you need to watch out for added ingredients like sugar, salt, and hydrogenated oils. If you want to enjoy nut butters without worrying about the downsides, go for homemade or natural nut butters with no additives. So, how can we replace processed peanut butter with safer options while still enjoying that great taste? In the next section, we'll explore healthy nut butter alternatives and how to make them at home to protect your health without worrying about harmful additives. Let's keep going. I'm sure you've heard about the amazing benefits of eating nuts for your health, but not all nuts are created equal, especially for seniors. Some nuts can support heart health, boost memory, and even strengthen your immune system. In this section, we'll explore the best nuts for seniors and why they're so incredible. Almonds are a fantastic choice for seniors. They're rich in calcium and vitamin E, two nutrients that help keep your bones strong. As you probably know, after age 65, bone loss speeds up, making your bones more prone to fractures and joint issues. A simple way to support strong bones is to add a few almonds to your daily diet. My friend Helen struggled with bone and joint issues for years. She always felt tired and achy, especially when the weather changed. After talking to her doctor, she decided to add almonds to her daily meals. Just a few months later, she noticed her joint pain had decreased significantly. Her doctor said her calcium levels had improved, helping her bones stay stronger. Helen's story is a great example of how almonds can support bone health. Walnuts, which look a bit like a brain, are one of the best nuts for your brain, especially for seniors. They're packed with omega-3s, an essential fat that improves cognitive function, supports memory, and lowers your risk of Alzheimer's. The omega-3s in walnuts also help strengthen connections between brain cells, boosting overall brain function. My friend Henry, who's over 70, started noticing his memory slipping year by year. He'd forget names and struggle with small details. But after adding walnuts to his daily diet, he noticed his memory improving. Not only that, but he also felt less stressed and more relaxed. A recent study confirmed that eating walnuts can lower the risk of brain-related diseases and improve cognitive function in seniors. Brazil nuts are amazing for supporting thyroid health, which is especially important for seniors. Your thyroid regulates your metabolism and energy levels. Brazil nuts are rich in selenium, a mineral that helps activate thyroid hormones and keep your energy balanced. Adding Brazil nuts to your diet can help seniors reduce thyroid-related issues like fatigue, weight gain, and depression. My friend Laura struggled with constant fatigue and unexplained weight gain. After some tests, she found out she had thyroid issue, a common problem for seniors. She started eating a few Brazil nuts each day, and soon her energy levels improved and her fatigue faded. After a few months, her thyroid levels stabilized. Laura's story shows how powerful Brazil nuts can be for thyroid health. Pistachios are not only great for heart health but also help protect your vision, especially for seniors. They're high in potassium, which helps keep your blood pressure stable, and they contain lutein and zeaxanthin, two carotenoids, that protect your eyes from age-related conditions like macular degeneration. My acquaintance Emma dealt with high blood pressure and macular degeneration as she hit 70. After adding pistachios to her diet, her blood pressure stabilized, and she no longer worried about her vision getting worse. Her doctors encouraged her to keep eating pistachios to support her heart and protect her eyesight long-term. The takeaway from these nuts is that each one offers unique benefits for your health, and seniors should choose the ones that best fit their body's needs. Adding nuts to your daily diet can help maintain heart and brain health while boosting energy and immunity. So, how can you easily add these nuts to your diet? In the next section, we'll explore simple ways to eat nuts every day without worrying about potential downsides. Let's find out how to make the most of nuts in your meals. We all know eating nuts has tons of health benefits, but you might be wondering, how can I add nuts to my daily diet without it feeling like a chore? Especially for seniors, changing eating habits can be a challenge. But don't worry, I'm here to share some super simple and effective tips to help you easily incorporate nuts into your meals without feeling overwhelmed or taking too much time. One of the easiest ways to start is by adding nuts to your daily snacks. Try grabbing a few almonds, walnuts, or pistachios as a snack between meals. They'll keep you full longer and give you steady energy without piling on too many calories. My friend Linda started adding nuts to her diet by having a small handful of almonds each morning with a glass of milk. At first, she just tried eating a few nuts each day and found they kept her from getting hungry too quickly while giving her energy all morning. After a few weeks, she noticed not only was her health better, but she also felt more focused and relaxed. She says eating nuts has become a simple but super effective habit. To keep things interesting, you can add nuts to your main meals. Try tossing some walnuts into a salad or adding Brazil nuts to your morning oatmeal. Nuts can also go into smoothies, boosting fiber and protein. This not only makes your meals tastier but also adds extra nutrition. My friend George loves salads but used to find them a bit boring. One day, he decided to add some walnuts and avocado to his salad. Not only did it taste better, but he also felt full longer and stopped snacking in the afternoon. Over time, he got used to adding nuts to lots of his meals and noticed his health improving. Besides eating whole nuts, you can also try making nut butters at home. Homemade nut butters don't have the added sugar or salt found in store-bought versions, and you can tweak the recipe to fit your taste and nutritional needs. With just a bit of time and a few simple ingredients, you'll have a nutritious, all-natural treat. My friend Karen is always looking for ways to eat healthier. She started making natural peanut butter at home by blending roasted peanuts with a little olive oil. She says making her own lets her control the ingredients and avoid unnecessary additives. Every morning, she has a slice of whole grain toast with her homemade peanut butter, and it gives her tons of energy for the day. As I mentioned earlier, nuts are high in calories, so it's important to watch how much you eat each day. A small handful daily is enough to get the health benefits without worrying about weight gain. Remember, even though nuts are great, eating too much won't make them better for you. My friend Harry, who's a senior, started paying attention to how many nuts he eats each day. He loves nuts but used to eat too many without thinking. After realizing this, he decided to stick to about 20 almonds a day and felt good about the moderate calorie intake. This helped him maintain a healthy weight and keep his health steady. The lesson here is that adding nuts to your daily diet doesn't have to be hard. You can easily mix them into snacks or meals you already love. Just remember to keep things balanced. Controlling how much you eat each day is key. You can absolutely enjoy the amazing benefits of nuts without worrying about unwanted side effects. So, now that you know how to add nuts to your diet, how can you make sure the nuts you eat stay fresh and keep their nutritional value? In the next section, we'll explore how to store nuts properly so they don't go bad or lose their nutrients. Let's keep going. You've probably heard the saying, the fresher the nuts, the better. And it's true, fresh nuts bring more health benefits. But to keep nuts fresh and hold on to all their nutrients, we need to store them the right way. Today, we'll learn how to store nuts properly to not only keep their flavor, but also maximize the health benefits they offer. Nuts contain natural oils, and when these oils are exposed to air, light, or high temperatures, they can oxidize, leading to spoilage or a rancid taste. When nuts go rancid, they lose their nutritional value and can even harm your health by producing free radicals that damage cells. So, how do we prevent this? My friend Janet had an unpleasant experience after buying a jar of almonds. After a short time, she noticed they smelled off and didn't taste as good as when she first opened them. She couldn't figure out why since she kept them in the fridge. After some research, she realized she hadn't been sealing the jar tightly after each use, letting air and moisture get in and spoil the nuts. This taught us an important lesson. Sealing containers and keeping nuts away from air is key to keeping them fresh. To prevent rancidity and keep nuts fresh, store them in a cool, dry, airtight place. If you buy nuts in bulk, divide them into small bags and keep them in the fridge or freezer. Nuts stored in a cold environment stay fresh longer and are less likely to go rancid. Also, don't let nuts sit in direct sunlight. Light can make them spoil faster. My friend Charles, who's a senior, loves buying nuts in bulk to snack on over time, but he used to have issues with them spoiling because he wasn't storing them right. After some advice, he started dividing his nuts into small portions and keeping them in airtight Ziploc bags in the fridge. This not only saved him money, but also ensured his nuts stayed fresh every time he used them. Over time, he noticed his nuts always tasted great and never had an off smell. If you want to store nuts for a long time, one of the best methods is vacuum sealing to remove air from the bag or container. This prevents oxidation and keeps nuts fresh longer. You can invest in a small vacuum sealer, and whenever you need nuts, just open the bag and reseal it when you're done. My friend Anne loves buying walnuts and Brazil nuts to give as gifts. She experimented with vacuum sealing her walnuts in airtight bags, and even after months, they stayed fresh without spoiling. She says this not only saves storage space, but also keeps her nuts ready whenever she needs them. The big lesson here is that to keep nuts fresh and maximize their health benefits, you need to store them the right way. Keeping them in a cool, dry, airtight environment prevents them from going rancid. If you use nuts often, try dividing them into small portions and storing them in the fridge, or vacuum sealing them to protect their nutrients long term. So, besides storing nuts properly, what else can we do to get the most health benefits from them? In the next section, we'll explore ways to prepare and pair nuts with other foods to get the best nutritional value for your body. Let's keep exploring tips for adding nuts to your daily meals. Choosing the right nuts can be tricky, especially for seniors, when your health and nutritional needs change over time. While nuts offer tons of benefits, picking the wrong ones or eating too many can harm your body instead of helping it. So, what mistakes do seniors often make when choosing nuts? Today, we'll go over these common pitfalls and how to avoid them so you can make the most of the benefits nuts have to offer. One of the most common mistakes is buying processed nuts, especially those with added sugar or salt. These nuts might taste good and be convenient, but they come with a lot of risks, especially for seniors. Excess sugar and salt can raise your risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and even diabetes. My friend Margaret, who's a senior, used to love eating processed nuts, especially salted almonds. She'd snack on them every day without realizing they could harm her health. After a while, she started feeling tired and occasionally dizzy. When she went for a checkup, her doctor found her blood pressure had spiked due to the salt in those nuts. After switching to plain unsalted almonds, her blood pressure improved significantly. The lesson here? Avoid processed nuts with added sugar and salt, and go for plain ones to protect your health. Even though nuts are super nutritious, eating too many can backfire. Nuts are high in calories and fats, so if you overdo it, you can easily gain weight and face other health issues, especially as a senior, when your metabolism slows down. Controlling your portions is key to staying healthy. My friend Thomas, a senior, loves nuts, especially almonds and walnuts. He used to eat a lot every day, thinking the more nuts he ate, the healthier he'd be. But after a while, he started feeling tired and gained weight. His doctor pointed out that eating too many nuts had increased his calorie intake, leading to weight gain and health issues. After adjusting his portions, he felt much better and lost some weight. The lesson? Nuts are great, but eating them in moderation is the key. Another mistake many seniors make is not considering their health conditions when choosing nuts. Each nut has its own properties and can affect your health in different ways. For example, if you have kidney issues, you need to be careful with the potassium in nut stew. Much can affect kidney function. Always check with your doctor before changing your diet, especially if you have conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or kidney problems. My friend Susan has kidney issues and diabetes. She loved almonds and Brazil nuts, but after talking to her doctor, she was advised to cut back on high potassium nuts to protect her kidneys. Her doctor also suggested eating a small amount of Brazil nuts daily, since they're rich in selenium and can support thyroid health. After adjusting her portions, her health improved, and she felt so much better. Susan's story shows how important it is to consider your health conditions when choosing nuts. A really common mistake is not checking the expiration date on nuts before buying or eating them. Nuts can go rancid if they're not stored properly, or if they're past their expiration date, losing their nutritional value and potentially harming your health. Always check the expiration date before using nuts, and if you buy in bulk, store them properly to maintain their quality. My friend Judy bought a jar of walnuts to keep on hand, but she forgot to check the expiration date and didn't store them properly, so they spoiled and had an off smell when she ate them. She didn't realize they were expired and could cause digestive issues. After that, she learned the importance of always checking expiration dates and storing nuts correctly. The big lesson here is that when choosing nuts, you need to avoid mistakes like picking processed nuts with added sugar and salt, eating too much, ignoring your health conditions, and forgetting to check expiration dates. Choosing nuts wisely and eating them in reasonable portions not only helps you stay healthy, but also avoids any negative effects nuts might have. So, how can we pick nuts the right way and avoid these mistakes? In the next section, we'll explore the best nuts for seniors to add to their diets so they can get the most health benefits. Let's keep going. We've been on quite a journey exploring nuts, from understanding their amazing benefits for heart and brain health to learning how to store and choose them wisely. We've also covered the common mistakes many seniors make when picking nuts and how to avoid them. I hope that through these insights, you've realized that nuts aren't just a tasty snack, they're a key part of staying healthy as we age. By now, you can see that nuts offer incredible benefits for seniors. They provide essential nutrients like healthy fats, protein, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, helping to protect your heart, keep your brain sharp, and even support your bones and thyroid. But like everything in life, moderation is key. Eating nuts the right way, in balanced portions, alongside a healthy diet and lifestyle, is how you can make the most of their benefits. You might remember Susan's story. She added nuts to her diet and saw a real improvement in her health. And stories from Linda, George, and others show that eating nuts can improve not just your physical health, but also your mental well-being. Small changes in your diet can make a big difference. Susan didn't just feel healthier, she started enjoying life with more energy and happiness. The final lesson I want you to take away is this. Small changes in our diets, like adding a few nuts to our meals each day, can have a huge positive impact on our health. Whether you're just starting or have been eating nuts for years, the key is to keep making those changes consistent, because health doesn't change overnight. And you know what? No matter your age, it's never too late to start a new habit and take better care of yourself. So, if you haven't tried adding nuts to your diet yet, I encourage you to start today. Try a handful of almonds in the morning, some walnuts in your lunchtime salad, and Brazil nuts with dinner. These small changes can bring not just health benefits, but also more energy, joy, and longevity to your life. Finally, remember that our health isn't something we only think about when there's a problem. It's a lifelong journey, and every daily habit, big or small, matters. Nuts, with all the benefits they bring, are a wonderful companion on that journey. If you found the information in this video helpful, don't forget to share it with your friends and family so they can also benefit from the power of nuts. Leave a comment below and let me know your favorite nuts to add to your diet. Let's build a healthy, vibrant community together, one that's full of energy and built to last.